Yeah, actually, I participated in this conference starting from the very beginning. I still remember in 2004, before you were born, I asked Ham, says, look, I need help in teaching e-commerce. Then Ham says, we all need help, so come on in. So I still remember, the first IT teaching workshop I had at Stanford. So over the years, I have learned a lot from this workshop. Today's workshop is phenomenal. So I want to show you some of the things I have learned from this workshop, how I have used to basically recreate my class. This is called electronic commerce. So what I do, I want to share with you like four things I did in this class, that relates to experiential learning. The first thing is called self-learning. I learned from Eric Biofson. So like what I do is I force the MBAs to do mini presentations, 15 minutes only. I pair those relevant cases together. Then they challenge each other. Later on, then I summarize. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is I play games. In particular, in this class, I select the three games, and I'll say a little bit later on. Then I also do field trips and live cases, and I write cases, mini cases for my students. And finally, I have a course project. Students that can pick and choose in either you start a startup in 15 weeks while taking my e-commerce class, or you help a startup in the Georgia Tech ecosystem. Okay, so you do basically a Google Online Marketing Challenge and learn from Rom at one of the conference at Emory. So this is the course syllabus. You have it. You have all those blue lines. Those are the mini live cases I wrote. You're welcome to use them. So in terms of learning of this class, in addition to experiential learning, I also force them to do academic learning. So I show them these pictures. You can joke with rival schools. Just make sure the students did not attend the rival school. So basically, you have to read all the cases, do all the learnings, because it depends. The more you read, you can have a better vision than others. Sometimes say, how did you join Georgia Tech? Because you read the books when you were a baby. So the class, I'm trying to teach new theories. Mostly they are actually developed by IT faculty members. Many of those are in this room. Also trying to relate with new practices, right? So like, for this kind of theory model you learn in my class, right? Can you go out and search for a startup? Okay, that's trying to develop roughly the ideas. Okay, and sometimes I challenge them. Can you find me the best in the startups in this arena? And finally, in this class, I try to use new methodologies. In particular, encourage design thinking and using A/B testing. In particular, do this business model search. Use the A/B testing. Well, I have to redesign this. This is the way to convince the dean's office. Look, I'm following the strategic plan. So the key thing I want to tell MBAs is IT is no longer only a tool, because they may learn from other classes. They say IT is a tool, but I tell them no, it's no longer a tool. It's an enabler and it's engine of growth. So those are the cases I use in my e-commerce class. So I redefine e-commerce and make it easy. Just say, it's eBay of X, or Amazon of Y, or Airbnb of Z. Okay, they can pick their favorite. So I focus on e-commerce business model search. Okay, in particular, startups, we define a business model is like how an organization creates and captures value. So this is, everybody knows this, the 9 building blocks, I use this a lot. This is the major framework. It's very practical, very useful, but every time I use this to challenge the students, like you summarize, what do you think about from this? Like econ executives, they can summarize this 4W and 1H, and China mobile top executives, they'll summarize this as 4W plus 2H. So this is, after you present this framework, you challenge them, thinking in your own way. What is this model? Okay. So I use those cases from Ham Mendelsohn a lot. In particular, he wrote a very nice introduction to business model. I highly recommend. It's either a short version or longer version. There are two versions of his teaching note on business models, and this is the concluding remarks in that teaching note. I like it a lot. Great. And why do you want to learn business models? It's great ideas will see the light of the day and even become great business. And actually, just a few weeks ago, the United Nations e-commerce week, they actually have a session, a track focused on business models, digital business models. So a quick summary. So then what's the academic version? I showed you the 9 building blocks. It's the practitioners they are used, like what the academic thinking. So this is, again, I modified from Ham's teaching notes. Basically have this, say, 4 buckets. Many of those relates for the things we have learned from this teaching workshop. Say, for example, value creation actually relates to value disciplines. At one time, Sanjeev Jawan presented, and you actually link. So nowadays, what has changed is those 3 value disciplines plus platform. And again, so those are like 4 buckets. You put it in, you emphasize again throughout the course. So I structure the course in 7 modules, and as you can think about, I have 4 roles. Okay, those are freemium business model, platform business model, open business model, and long-tail business models. Those you can think about the roles. I also have like 3 columns. One column is the payment industry, e-commerce payments, and the e-commerce analytics, and the final course projects. So this is the design. And this time I want to show you like how do I play the games. And today we actually have a handout. Like everybody has that, right? You have to take this handout. Okay. Yeah, let me tell you, I use this award-winning software developed in Tradewind, okay, by Professor Howie Sandman. Okay, you have to use it. Let me tell you, okay, why this is unique. Tradewind business is model-based, effective, easy to use, fun, and thought-provoking. Okay, I can test this is very true. There are actually equations embedded in the system, and so this is see what I do, what I use. Then once I play the game, okay, then what I do 2 things. Okay, I show you. Then what I do is I actually replicate it see all the models Ivy used. So this is, again, built on the previous workshop. So the first thing you do is you can actually do lots of A/B testing. One of A/B testing, I teach 2 sessions, the honor version of e-commerce and MBA version. So on one session, I let them play the dynamic game first. Then I play the second version is the fixed price contract. You say like you can do a class, okay, of A/B testing, okay. Then the other class, I reverse the order. So for one class, you do dynamic, say pricing first, then you do fixed pricing. The other class, you do fixed pricing first, then you do dynamic pricing. You will see amazing behavior changes. So for example, so this is this is say like when they teach when they teach the dynamic pricing. So like you have say those people, they are say like majority of the people, they are making money, so they all know that you play for a while, they know the strategy. Basically, you have this low and high strategy. So those are undergrads. So those are the MBA students. They also learn they are making money. However, since I changed the sequence, for MBA students, you take so this is the undergraduate. So what they did, they played this fixed contract game first. You see like 3 teams, they are making money. The other, they are losing money. However, but if you take a look of these MBA guys, okay, so what they did is, they first played the dynamic game first, okay, but they did not forget. So they're going to try to use, okay, what they learned from the dynamic platform game, okay, to this fixed pricing game. Then you say they are all losing money. So yes.
So the fixed price game is they give the full schedule at once?
Yes, basically, yeah. The time when the time you sign up, okay, that's the price you're gonna pay. Okay, so like so at the time, the period you sign up, okay, that's the price you pay. Stay there. Okay. Yes, stays there. Okay, so if you think about the house you purchased, that's the price. So this is like one thing I do. So basically, I build many of those Excel sheet models, like so they can download, they can analyze their behavior. And what's the purpose? The purpose is you can do business model search because on those 19 building blocks, they do not link, say like customer segmentation versus this revenue. So those two blocks that did not link. So when you play this kind of games and you do analysis, you can link them. Okay, you can keep driving them. How do you link all those 9 building blocks? And then of course you can do all sensitivity analysis. I don't have time to do that. In the what if we can work together to change network effects? What if we can do picky writing? Basically, I can behave like Airbnb, and I can poach guys from Craigslist. I can behave like Uber. I can poach drivers from Lyft. You can actually quickly show the point, okay? And then in the exam, actually, I further challenge them. So basically, I would say like, what will this, break down? So in the exam, so what I do is still the game that they played. So I have different versions. Most of them have this idea low high. Look, so now I say, create a model, simplify. Suppose you have only 2 guys competing and you only have 2 periods. Okay, solve it for optimally, chase them. Okay, and on the what conditions? Okay, what has the common wisdom is wrong. Okay, you say your low high is wrong. Okay, basically you can have all combinations. They can actually search. You can do 0, 0, low high. You can also seed one side, charge the other side, okay? Or you can charge from the very beginning. So basically, so in the exam, actually, I charge them. I have those 4 questions, okay? They'll be surprised. It's like, it's optimal. So you have, it's optimal solution for all those 4 combinations. This is just like one example. I use always games. I also use the network game and the fishing game. Do the same thing. Okay, basically, you play the game, challenge them, and ask them when the intuition breaks down. So when is the common wisdom breaks down? Identify the boundary and the conditions, and even challenge them to find the optimal solutions. So those are what I do. And then I say, look, for those games, for example, the network gaming we all play, like talk about social influence, like which startup is actually doing this? Okay, so then I actually take them, okay, to the company and actually show like in the real world how they do this. And then actually turns out one of the company is, I skip this one. Say it's called Tech Square Labs. Okay, so this is basically it's a startup accelerator. So this is take my class. This is one of the 9 campuses. So Google selected. It's not Georgia Tech. It's this startup accelerator. And one of the companies they actually invest is called Inside Pool. What they do is they do social influence marketing. Actually, take a look. There's a company right there. They have data. For example, like Arwi. I know Arwi is follower information in all those platforms. Facebook, Twitter, like how many people that are following you. Then we show the students, look, this is the real world. What's going on. And then the next project, we actually were going to work with them, like say you actually do experiments to use those inside pools to actually to do influencer marketing. Influencer marketing, for the class. And in this, so what I did, these are like 10 live cases I wrote. I don't have time to get in, but I sit down with those executives. Many of them, they are unicorns created locally at Atlanta. Like this Chris Claus, he sold his internet security systems to IBM for $1.9 billion. So we have a case, wrote in together, okay, for about his company, and I also use my friend Gang Yu, so what did you learn from the failure of Webvan, and show how Gang Yu was able to use analytics and build this Yihaodian in China, okay, and using analytics. It's just amazing. He's actually telling you his business model like every time, okay, and in the conference. This is amazing. Nowadays, people will tell you their business model, okay. It's about execution, and then there are many others I don't have to cover. Actually, I have a fintech industry because Atlanta is very famous for. Like you learn about Bitcoin, how do you create a Bitcoin payment startup, okay? And so there are many other examples. I don't have time to do. And this is some of the students. It is a course project. This is actually sometimes initially I don't think MBA can create startups. Actually, they did. Okay, this is a student created a startup right taking my class. Basically, is selling the ice cream mix-ins. They don't sell ice cream, but they sell you the spices. So when he did the presentation, everyone enjoyed ice cream. Okay, but what they actually did is using Google AdWords. Okay, and discovered customers. Okay, you have to do the experiments. Everyone has to show me A/B testing and what's your search process, and what are the metrics. So this is one. Yes. Yes, I'll skip all that. So yeah, this one is very exciting. I have a student, see, he actually using all this, the push a button, you get X, the eBay of home service. He actually did it in China, during taking my classes. He actually, he raised 500,000 Chinese yuan, okay, and he's now actually doing that. He did not get a good grade because, yeah, I'll skip all that, see, it's great. Okay, so yeah, I stop here. Thank you.